Hey everyone, we have so many people that are moving to Baldwin County, Alabama. Lower Alabama is what we locals call it. That I thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a video entitled Where to Live When Moving to Baldwin County. Everybody's got their personal likes and dislikes, and I'm not steering anybody of where to go. I'm just going to hit on all the highlights of our county and try to keep it under 10, 12 minutes, hopefully. But before I get into it, I really want, everybody's got their why. You know, they're moving here for the weather, they're moving here for the beach, you know, whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to think of things that might be in your why. So the topics that I'm going to cover and the areas I'm going to cover are going to be why you moved here, or why you're thinking about moving here. So just the biggest thing is just determining your why. For those who don't know, never seen me before, never heard of me, my name is Jeff Nelson. I'm with IXL Real Estate. I've been a realtor for 17 years. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. This is what I do, and I do a lot of it. So anyway, let's take a shallow dive into the world of Baldwin County and how it could mean something to you and where would be the best place to live when moving to Baldwin County. Let's go. So in general, I did, have my own experiences with living in Baldwin County, but also, I do a lot of research as well. And a lot of hands-on research because I'm showing property all the time and I'm all over the place. I've got about 135 videos on my YouTube channel that talks about everything from restaurants to parks to people to real estate, of course. But in general, I also do my own research online, and I came across a page on niche.com. And according to their ranking factors, just in general, and I'm going to get into some more detail, but just in general, the best places, they actually have the title, the best places to live in Baldwin County. And the number one was Fairhope, Daphne, Spanish Fort, and then Orange Beach. Those were the top 4 best places to live. Now let's give a look for those who aren't here or thinking about moving here and you don't know a whole lot about Baldwin County. The county is made up of about 6 major cities. And when I say major, the biggest city only has like 27,000 people. So it's not a huge area, all right? The cities aren't huge with population. The whole county only has about 240,000 people. So we have 6 major cities. And that's Spanish Fort, Daphne, Fairhope, Foley, Gulf Shores, and Orange Beach. And then you have a number of smaller towns that are on the grow too. They're growing for their own reasons. Bay Minette, Loxley, Robertsdale, Silver Hill, Summerdale, Lillian. There's just a number of smaller towns like that too. And I'll hit on some of that throughout this video. But if you hear me talk about the Eastern Shore, that's a very popular, that's probably the most populated area of Baldwin County, and that's Spanish Fort, Daphne, and Fairhope. That's referred to as the Eastern Shore because this is a coastal county. On the east side, if you're looking down at Baldwin County, on the east side you got that Mobile Bay that covers just about the entire county, just about. And then, of course, on the southern boundary is the Gulf of Mexico, where Gulf Shores and Orange Beach are. So, but if you ever hear me talk about that, the Eastern Shore, that's what we're talking about. But niche.com has Fairhope and Daphne and Spanish Fort, which are part of the Eastern Shore, as the top 3 places to live in Baldwin County, and then they have Orange Beach in there too. So I thought that was very interesting so far as in general terms. Now, again, they have their own ranking factors, but I thought that was very interesting. I actually agree with them. I live in Spanish Fort, so But just in a broad sense, I thought I'd bring that out. Another reason why people move to Baldwin County, and has to do with where to live when you move to Baldwin County, is the cost of living. Now, last week I just did this entire video on the cost of living in Baldwin County. So I urge you to check it out. It's based on that whole topic. But also on niche.com, cost being a factor in most people's lives, they have listed, using their ranking factors and algorithms and whatever they use to determine this, they had Bay Minette, Loxley, and Robertsdale as the best places to live in Baldwin. So if cost of living is a major factor and you don't really care about being right on top of the beach or the tourists or that type of thing, figuring out where to live in Baldwin County, Bay Minette, Loxley, and Robertsdale, they are growing towns as well. The population is a lot lower than the other cities, but that would be something to consider. Another huge factor that's considered when moving to an area, and this is a very big one, and that's the school system. And even though we do have a lot of retired people that are moving here, we do have a lot of families as well. I just had a closing the other day with 2 young girls, and that's always a concern of what has the best school system. And a lot of times people will choose where they want to live totally based on the school system. So I went to publicschoolreview.com, and in their opinion, using their ranking factors, the best high schools, I didn't go through it. There's 49 public schools in the county, not to mention all of the private schools. So I didn't go through elementary, middle, and high school. So I'm just using high school as an example here. But according to publicschoolreview.com, the top schools were Orange Beach Middle High, because Orange Beach doesn't have a high school. They send their high schoolers to Gulf Shores. But Orange Beach ranked at the very top with a 10 out of 10. The next was Gulf Shores, which is good to know, since the middle schoolers from Orange Beach are going there. Fairhope, Spanish Fort, and Daphne. Again, the Eastern Shore is in the list again. So if you have school-age children, you're not homeschooling, and that is a factor for you, then those areas would be at the top of the list, in my opinion. Okay, my specialty, which is real estate. Not going to talk about this a lot because that's going to be more of a personal level between you and me. When you call me, pick up the phone, give me a ring, give me a text, shoot me an email. It's going to be a lot of personal factors come into play when it comes to housing. You might want a neighborhood that's more rural, and I can point you in the right direction so far as that goes. Or you might want to be in a gated community, or on a golf course, or on the water. So we are a coastal county. We have Mobile Bay that runs down the east side of our county. If you're looking down from the sky, if you're looking down on Baldwin County, the entire east coast of the county is Mobile Bay. Huge water. And then, of course, goes without saying, gotta say it anyway, the whole southern coast is our beautiful Gulf of Mexico. So it just depends on a lot of factors. But one thing that we can do is narrow down on price. And even then, until you get to the beach, pricing is going to be a little better in the smaller towns that we have mentioned. Daphne, just for your information, now this is February of 2023, so anything that is talked about price, that could change. So, if you're watching this 10 years from now or 10 months from now, chances are anything I might tell you about price or things that could change over time, is going to change. But right now, Daphne and Foley tend to go back and forth so far as having the best price per foot. So if you want to get the most bang for your buck in the 6 major cities in Baldwin County, I would choose Daphne or Foley. Next would be Spanish Fort. Then after that, Fairhope. Then after that, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach would be in there as the highest price per square foot. Basically, with the exception of Foley, because Foley sits right on top of Gulf Shores. But it basically works like this. The closer you get to the ocean, the more expensive it gets, with the exception of Foley. Now everybody's favorite subject, traffic and commuting. I know a lot of people are moving from big, huge cities with 1 million plus people, or even 500,000 plus people, and a lot of those people work, and they get in cars, and rush hour is insane. That's one of the things I love about Baldwin County is we're not that huge. The whole county only has about 240,000 people right now. Even Mobile, which is across Mobile Bay, Mobile's a lot bigger than our whole county. But even then, it's not anything like Houston or Atlanta or, just pick a big city, LA. It's just not terrible. All right. There are a lot of people who work in Mobile or even Pensacola, Florida, and live in Baldwin County. All right, there's a lot of people who do that because they just prefer Baldwin County. Now, in determining where you want to live, where to live in Baldwin County, in determining that is your commute to work. Let's say you are going to work in Mobile. And you want to be close to an interstate. The 2 best places that are there's 3. There's 3 cities that will put you right near an interstate. Bay Minette's going to put you right next to Interstate 65, which will take you to Mobile. And Spanish Fort and Daphne, actually the interstate goes right between the 2 of those cities. You can literally jump right on the interstate and shoot over the bridge and be in Mobile. A lot of the people who work in Mobile live in Spanish Fort or Daphne. That's going to be your closest commute. There's several ways to get down to the southern part of the county, so far as getting around the county. You have the Foley Beach Expressway, and you have 181 that'll take you down that way, and then 98. So those are highways that are going to take you from where the interstate is down all the way down to the coast. So traffic. Let's talk about traffic. We have 8.5 million tourists that come to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach every year. Those are 2022 figures. So most of the time, those folks are renting for 7 days. And most of the time, what we call the turnaround time is usually on a Saturday afternoon. So from like 11 to 2 or 11 to 3 is when they pack their stuff up and somebody comes and cleans it, and then a new tenant comes in. So your busy days are going to be from spring to the fall, mainly during the summer, but spring to fall on Saturdays. That's going to be your biggest traffic times headed towards the beach. So that means the interstate where you get off to go to the beach, and then the major highways, the Foley Beach Expressway, Highway 59, 181, 98, those are going to be backed up. And, so a lot of the locals, what we do is we just, we time it. We either go, if we have to go anywhere on Saturday and it's anywhere close to the beach, we just time it. We go in the morning or later in the day. But so far as normal traffic, everyday traffic, sometimes, there's going to be accidents no matter where you live. I mean, Just pick a town, pick a city. There's going to be accidents. So if there's an accident on I-10, I-10 is what goes through Spanish Fort and Daphne. It's going to be backed up. What can you do? But typically everyday traffic, it's just not that bad. There's going to be some slowdowns, but it's just not terrible. I think the typical commute time for somebody in Daphne or Spanish Fort is about 27 minutes. I read that somewhere. It's hard for me to gauge because I'm a realtor and I work all throughout the day, and I'm traveling all throughout the day. But commuting and traffic it's just not that big of a deal. The biggest struggle we have is with tourism on that Saturday. Is going to be your biggest traffic times. Okay, and also determining where you want to live, so there are some, I'm one of them, that you don't want to have to travel 25 miles to get a loaf of bread. Some of you that really appeals to. Me, not so much. But just whatever, again, going back to what's important to you. Let's talk about things to do. And do you want to live right in the mix of it all, or do you prefer living in a more rural area? There are 3 major shopping centers in Baldwin County. One's in Spanish Fort, it's called the Eastern Shore Center. One's in Daphne, which is not too far from the Eastern Shore Center, just 4 or 5 miles. It's called Jubilee Square. And then in Foley, there's the Tanger Outlets. All 3 of these, Tanger is probably the biggest, and then Eastern Shore Center is the second biggest, and then Jubilee is the third, but they're all major shopping areas. Now there's plenty, there's grocery stores everywhere, and Targets and Walmarts and that type of thing. But if you want to be really close to shopping, it would be Spanish Fort, Daphne, Fairhope, and Foley. That would be general shopping type of thing. Restaurants are everywhere, and we got some incredible restaurants all throughout the county. So that's kind of hard to tell you where to live or determine where you want to live based on restaurants. All right, I'm going to bring up a negative. Now, I could do a video on every city, and I'm sure I will, of things to do in every city. I could do a video on each one of them. But I want to talk about one negative thing. The Eastern Shore, there's not a lot of nightlife here. Okay, so far as which a lot of people would consider nightlife would be bars and places to go dance and clubbing and all that. You're not going to see a whole lot of that on the Eastern Shore. Okay, you're going to find more of that at the beach or in downtown Mobile. All right, that's where if you want that, that's where you go. Baldwin County, on the other hand, is very family oriented, and there are a ton of things to do in our county. We have state parks, vast state parks for hiking and biking and camping. Of course, because we're a coastal county with the bay and the Gulf, water sports are huge. Kayaking, boating, fishing. There are piers everywhere. There are boat slips everywhere. There are places to drop off a kayak everywhere. It's a water sportsman's paradise is what it is. Regular parks are everywhere. We have all kinds of neat little things too, but a ton of little things as well. Especially when you get closer to the beach, you got a brand new zoo that Gulf Shores has put up. I guess it's been a couple years now. I say brand new, but a brand new zoo. And then everything that activities that you think will go along with the beach, in addition to the beautiful beach, go-karting and jet skiing, and then amusements and putt-putt. There's a huge water park down there called Waterville, USA. But I would be remiss if I did not mention Owa Theme Park. Awesome place. That went up a few years ago. It's in Foley, right off the Foley Beach Expressway. If you've been down here, you've probably seen it. Man, it is an incredible theme park. It's got an old-timey, brand new buildings, but it kind of built like an old-time town with warehouse-looking buildings and that type of thing, but just a gorgeous place. And then to top it off, they put in a 65,000 square foot indoor water park at Owa. So if you want to live, determine where you want to live, and then there's golf, of course. We have some championship golf courses, and then there's a lot of public golf courses. And many of them are nicely done. So just get with me on that. If you want to live close to those things, they're really throughout the county. But I will say, nightlife isn't that important until you get to the beach. But a lot to do with the family. So there you have it, folks. Again, I'm a realtor. This is what I do. I know Baldwin County like the back of my hand. I know all the things to do. I do a ton of videos just on things to do in our area. So go to my channel and you can easily find me, Jeff Nelson, Realtor, Baldwin County. I have a large website as well. But anyway, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. If you have any questions about Baldwin County or housing or real estate or best place to get a Reuben sandwich, I can help you with that. But would love to talk to you. If you have any questions, give me a ring. And I'll be talking to you soon. I'm sure I'll do another one of these videos tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.